Black History Month. What is it? Black History Month is a time to celebrate and remember all the ways that Black Canadians have contributed to Canada's history and culture. Canadians celebrate the many achievements and contributions of Black Canadians who, throughout history, have done so much to make Canada the culturally diverse, compassionate, and prosperous nation it is today.
When did Black History Month start? The history of Black History Month dates back to 1926 in the United States. At that time, an African American historian named Carter G. Woodson founded a week that focused on celebrating the accomplishments of African Americans. He decided on a week in February because two important men were born in that month. The first was Frederick Douglass, a former slave in the 1800s who spoke out for the freedom of slaves, as well as equal rights for women. And the second was Abraham Lincoln. As the 16th President of the United States, Lincoln fought for the freedom of all slaves throughout the country. While Woodson's idea began as a one-week celebration, it eventually became a month-long event called Black Heritage Month in the United States in 1976. And in 1995, Canada's government officially recognized February as Black History Month. We'd like to quote the words of Dave Hilton, member of CUPE, Local 1356, and the Racial Justice/Anti-Racism Committee. Black History Month is important to me because it serves as a reminder of the struggles, tribulations, and achievements of Black people both past and present. It also serves as a reminder of where we came from as people, where we were brought to, and where we are going.
For over 300 years of Western history, Black women, men, and children were taken by force from Africa and transplanted to the Americas and the Caribbean as slaves. My ancestors were among them. In the slave society of the past, Blacks were forbidden to read, write, or participate fully as citizens. They were exploited and suffered all manner of indignities. Their descendants, myself included, suffer the legacy of this trauma. However, in darkness, there is always a beam of light that shines through. We are survivors. For me, Black History Month reaffirms my people's abilities to survive and to forgive. In surviving the brutality of slavery, my ancestors taught me that I could carry on. I remember them with pride, and I honor them by celebrating Black History Month.
Black History Month is also important to me because it allows others to learn about the many Black people who came before us who helped build a better world. Together we celebrate their accomplishments for their lives serve as an inspiration to us all. There are so many African Canadians to recognize and celebrate. Today we have chosen 8 outstanding Canadians who have helped transform our country into a diverse, inclusive, accepting, welcoming, growing, and thriving nation.
Willie O'Ree is a hockey player in Canada, in fact the first Black player.
Which at the time meant he was very brave and kept going even if he received some very racist comments.
The comments seem to be more racial in the U.S., less in Toronto and Montreal.
Willie O'Ree quoted, "Things like that did not bother me. I just wanted to be a hockey player, and if they could not see that fact, that was their problem, not mine."
Fun facts. Willie O'Ree played in the NHL for 23 years.
He was born on October 15th, 1935, and is still alive to this day.
Henry Harry Winston Jerome was born on September 30th, 1940 in Prince Alberta, Saskatchewan. He was a famous Black track and field runner representing Canada.
He earned a degree in physical education at the University of Oregon. In 1971, Harry was named British Columbia's Athlete of the Century and received the Order of Canada as a testament to his achievements.
Rose Fortune and Peter C. Butler.
Rose Fortune.
Rose Fortune was born on March 13, 1774, and died on February 20th, 1864.
Rose Fortune was the first female police officer in Canada.
Rose Fortune escaped the slavery during the American Revolution. Peter C. Butler. He was the first Black male police officer in Canada.
born in 1859 and died in 1943.
Peter's grandfather escaped slavery and settled in Ontario in the 1830s. In 1913, Peter joined the OPP and served as a police officer for 50 years.
Lana Ogilvy was born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. She is widely known for being the first colored model to be given a contract with the CoverGirl Cosmetics brand. It all started when she was discovered at a high school fashion show.
She soon then moved to New York with a modeling agency after she modeled in Paris. She has modeled for LA Style, Ann Taylor, Gap, Banana Republic, and many more. She is a great model for young women.
Viola Irene Desmond was one of the African-Canadian women who stood up in defiance of racial discrimination. She was a Canadian businesswoman of Black Nova descent.
In 1946, she challenged racial segregation at a cinema in Glasgow, Nova Scotia, by refusing to leave a white-only cinema in Roseland Theatre. Viola Desmond inspired Canada to be accepting of African Canadians
and that we all deserve equal rights.
Angela James is a former hockey player, and she played at the highest levels of the Senior Hockey League during 1980 to 2000. She was born on December 26, 1964. She played in many teams in the Central Ontario Women's Hockey League between 1980 until 1998. For the last 2 years, she played in the National Women's Hockey League. She won MVP 6 times. She scored 11 goals in one game, which was the record in her league.
Winnie Harlow was born on July 27, 1994 in Toronto, Ontario. She was diagnosed with vitiligo, which is a skin condition where patches of skin lose pigmentation, at 4 years old. She was bullied so many times and that made her switch schools and drop out of high school. Winnie Harlow was founded in America's Next Top Model and on Instagram. She posted a video called Vitiligo, a skin condition, not a life changer.
Who is Marianne Shadd and how did she change the world? Marianne Shadd Carey, born in Delaware in 1823, taught fugitive slaves, was a lawyer, an American-Canadian anti-slave activist, a journalist, and the first Black woman to be a publisher in North America and the first woman publisher in Canada. She became later in life the second African-American woman to earn a law degree in the USA. What can we learn from Marianne Shadd? When she first started writing, Marianne Shadd hid using her brother's name because at that time, women weren't allowed to publish anything. We can learn from her to stand up for ourselves and be brave to get our voices heard.
We can learn a lot from Black History Month. In fact, we shouldn't just recognize important parts of our history 1 month a year. We should celebrate diversity every single day.